Hi, everybody. It's Harvard lawyer Lee. Well, I'm back, at least pretty much, from having COVID. I wanted to say thank you so much for all the people who drop little notes and get well soon in the comments. I really did appreciate that. It kind of made my week. I am so excited about today's video. We've had the thumbnail ready for a whole week. I just couldn't do the video to go with it. Amber Heard made a monster mistake at trial. Today, I want to unpack that and talk about how it ended up boomeranging to really hurt her case. We're in the middle of a series about the very best evidence from the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial. For me and for many of us, we came into the trial not really knowing much about the case and not really having picked a side. I wanted to talk about what are the very most important, key, pivotal pieces of evidence and information that turned the trial from being one where people didn't have an opinion to one where people said, I don't really believe Amber and I do believe Johnny. What were those critical pieces of information? And today I want to talk about one that's super interesting. Amber Heard made a monster mistake at trial. In this series about the evidence, I'm taking you through the actual evidence that came directly from the trial. You'll see the whole gamut from what Amber Heard said it was going to say in opening statement, how it was used in Johnny Depp's direct examination to explain his relationship to Amber Heard, and then how Johnny Depp's team brought it all the way back around and used it against Amber. So let's start with Johnny Depp's text messages. He wrote a text message to his security saying, "We've been perfect. All I had to do was send the monster away and lock him up. We've been happier than ever." And he's talking, of course, about his relationship to Amber Heard. He's saying that now that I've sent the monster away, Amber and I have been happier. There was a similar text message that Johnny Depp sent to his doctor. "Amber and I have been absolutely perfect. I have locked my monster child away in a cage deep within, and it has effing worked." Now, those statements in the text messages then were broadcast by mainstream media. I'll give you an example. Came straight from Reuters, was published, for example, in the National Post. Johnny Depp describes himself as a monster in text shown at defamation case. Amber Heard's team made a big deal about this in opening statement. They said this evidence was critically important. Let's take a look at what Amber Heard's team said would happen at trial.
She loved the side of Johnny that we see in the movies, the charismatic one, the charming one, the generous one. That's the man she fell in love with. But sadly, the monster came in the way.
Amber Heard's team is saying that this evidence is so important, it should change your general perception of Johnny Depp. The public, you members of the jury, you might think Johnny Depp is a nice guy. You might think he seems like a regular person, kind of charming and entertaining. But in fact, we think this evidence is going to completely change your mind. Pay attention to this evidence because it shows Johnny Depp really is a monster inside. All of that public persona is fake. That's what Amber Heard's team is saying the evidence will show. We'll see if that pans out for them.
And that monster would come out when he was drinking and when he would take the drugs.
Amber Heard's team is taking the word all the way from monster to use of drugs and alcohol to physical abuse of Amber Heard. All the same thing. When Johnny Depp says monster, he means he physically abused Amber Heard. That's what Amber Heard's team wants to prove with this word.
Amber will never forget the first event of abuse. Then Johnny came off the sofa, got on his knees, started crying, told her he was very, very sorry that he had done this. It would never happen again. And he said some very significant words. "I thought I had put her away for good." That's what he said to her.
Notice what Amber Heard's team is suggesting. Johnny Depp said in the context of having hit Amber Heard and knocked her off the sofa, according to Amber's team, he said in that context, "I thought I had stopped doing this." Implication is not just that he abused Amber Heard, but also that he had done it before with other people, that he had physically abused other people. That's the implication that Amber Heard's team would like to draw out of the word monster. We'll see. Is it going to work for them? We'll watch. The next place we're going to go, the direct examination of Johnny Depp, they're going to take the word monster and have Johnny Depp tell his side of the story, talk about what it was that that word meant to him and why he used that Very different story from what Amber Heard said. And then, of course, we're going to watch the cross-examination of Amber Heard, and we're going to see it turn all the way around. So let's start right now with the direct examination of Johnny Depp.
What does the term monster mean to you?
Well, the term monster means to me, in the beginning, she had used a different word to explain the same thing, and she would use the word demon.
This is such a telling piece of information. Other couples might have endearing words like love or hun or sweetheart, but Amber Heard's words for Johnny Depp were demon and monster. And he's saying, that's how she talked to me. That's how she called me. Those were her love words, if you will, for me.
That my demons were coming out, that she had noticed that there was a great change in my attitude or my aggressive nature, or she would say that the demons had come out and they had control of me, and that's I don't remember exactly how monster came out, but that word stuck, and it stayed, well, until this day.
When you use the term monster, what were you referring to in your conversations with Ms. Heard?
When I used the term monster with Ms. Heard, I was placating.
It's very much the story any bullied person would tell, that they were just trying to accommodate and keep the bully from coming at them. So if Amber wanted to use the word monster, okay, that's fine. We'll use the word monster, that he was doing that to keep her from getting more upset. Just like the bullied child in the schoolyard might say, oh yeah, you're right. I am dumb. Yeah, I am really stupid. They might say that just to keep the bully from coming at them.
What do? You accept her vernacular, the word that she used, and then you use that word to placate her so that it would at least calm part of the aggression. It would lessen the attacks. Even when I was stone cold sober, off of alcohol and substances aside from my meds, the term the monster was still there.
Johnny Depp is directly contradicting what Amber Heard's team suggested. Johnny Depp is saying this wasn't a term that she used to describe me when I drank, when I used drugs. This was a term she used all the time. She just used mean words to talk to me, and this was one of them. She called me monster all the time. Amber Heard said these words so many times, they became part of how he thought of himself. She called him that over and over, and he began to think of himself that way during their relationship. And now he's going to talk about how that made him want to leave, made him want to get away from her, and how that impacted the relationship.
I tried to walk away. I tried to another room, even to the point of locking myself in rooms so that she just could pound on the door and scream.
Johnny Depp is describing what seems to be a very classic DV or bullying situation. It does not sound like a situation where he is being the aggressor, but rather one where he is trying to get away, trying to be elsewhere so he doesn't have to deal with it.
I should have never fallen for that or taken the bait to allow myself to get into a conversation which led to an argument, which led to physical violence. It was not going to be good, so I just walk away, which drove her through the roof.
So, Mr. Depp, why would you use the term monster when communicating with people other than Ms. Heard?
Well, because I heard it all the time.
Johnny Depp's team is asking him a question that's really important because Amber's team has evidence that Johnny Depp used the word monster not just with Amber, therefore not just to placate her, but used it more than that. Why would he do that? Why would he use that term? They don't shy from it. They go ahead and ask him the question, why would you do that? And he's going to answer.
I mean, it was, as I said, that was her go-to, the monster. Although when you are constantly in a position to be harassed by your beloved other, what else could I do? I wanted to be numb. I didn't want to hear that. I didn't want to feel that, especially from one who had professed such love for me, but gave me mostly hatred.
That is such a powerful description of how someone would react realistically in a DV situation. The shock, the lack of understanding when someone who professes love for you treats you with hatred. That makes Johnny's testimony very credible. And it also then becomes part of his explanation for why he wanted to get away from Amber Heard and why he wanted the retreat of substance abuse and of alcohol, because he couldn't stand the situation he was in. He was constantly trying to get away from it in more than one way, physically and also through his drug and alcohol use, which made it even more difficult in the relationship. So Johnny Depp has already begun the turnaround, talking about what the word really meant and how it really showed something about Amber Heard and the way she was treating him. And now we are going to see in the cross-examination by Camille Vasquez the total turnaround as she brings it back home. If you would, please hit the like button to feed that YouTube algorithm, and also subscribe. I would love to have you back for more videos, and we are going to be covering more of the critical evidence from the trial.
You write a long series of text messages to Mr. Depp that don't get a response. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You write, "Come grown, face the shit, and we can do anything." You go on a little later to say, "Please come home. Let's apologize to each together."
Johnny Depp's team is using Amber Heard's own text messages, and that's critically important because Amber Heard doesn't have anywhere to run away from them, if you will. She used the word monster to describe Johnny Depp when he ran away from her. It had nothing to do with physical abuse, and that was her own use of the words in her own text.
Come home. Don't be the monster. Be the man. Please. Please call me. Please. You write, "I don't want the monster. I need my man. I need to talk to you. Please."
One of the interesting things about the fact that Amber Heard is trying to get Johnny to come home is that she doesn't appear to be afraid of him. It isn't as if she's afraid if he comes home, he may abuse her, he may physically attack her. Instead, she wants him to come home. She says, "I think he's out there using, therefore I want him to come home and be with me." That makes very little sense. If the word monster means somebody who is about to come home and physically abuse me, you wouldn't want the monster at home.
Don't force me to be something else to you. This is taking me for granted, and I can never stop before this turns into something far darker.
Do you hear those words from Amber Heard? Don't force me to be something else to you. Clearly, she is talking about herself there. She's saying, if you don't come home, you're going to force me to be something else to you. You're going to force me to be something far darker. She's not referring to Johnny Depp coming home and being an abuser. She's talking about herself and the change she herself will have if, in fact, Johnny Depp doesn't come home as she's demanding that he do.
Describing yourself in that text message, right?
The exact opposite. I'm trying to interrupt him starting a new cycle where he starts using again.
He's not responding to you, Ms. Heard.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to desperately stop him.
Please answer the phone, you say. Doesn't this mean anything to you? And it goes on. And I won't read all these messages, but you're saying, please answer over and over again. Right?
It was very important to me.
By writing over and over again, trying to force Johnny Depp to come home when he was trying to be away from her, Amber Heard ends up looking sort of stalkerish, for the lack of a better word, like somebody who is just obsessed and going after Johnny Depp at all costs, no matter what. Certainly not like somebody who's afraid, who thinks if he comes home, he may physically abuse her.
I was running out of time and I was trying desperately to stop him.
He wasn't with you, Miss Heard.
Exactly, which is how I knew it was about to get a lot worse. He would leave, use, and come back way worse, with way less reality, with more delusions. He'd be more drunk.
This is a situation where you were trying to get Mr. Depp to pay attention to you. Isn't that right?
No, I was trying to stop him from using.
And because he ran away from you at the first sign of trouble, you call him a monster,
I was
right?
trying to stop him from turning into the monster. The drugs are the key that opened the door.
Who was the real monster in this relationship, Miss Heard?
Lives in Johnny, half of Johnny. It's not all of Johnny. The other half of him is wonderful and beautiful and the man I love.
And now Camille Vasquez, Johnny Depp's attorney, has fully turned the issue. Now the question is, who's the real monster in the relationship? The perfect ending question for that sequence, because it suggests that the real problem was not Johnny Depp, who was busy trying to get away, busy trying to avoid, but rather the problem, the monster, was Amber Heard. By now, what had been set out in opening statement no longer appears credible. There's no real reason to believe that the word monster meant that Johnny Depp physically abused Amber Heard. Instead, the people watching the trial are concluding monster means something else entirely, and Amber Heard has referred to herself as something, quote, far darker. Maybe the real monster is Amber Heard. I'm so excited to be back. It was great to bring you this video. I've got several more fantastic videos about the key evidence from trial, so be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.